pacing up and down, and it's just like, "Ugh," and then he commits the crime.
You guys, that's what
Right.
Nick does right before we start filming too.
Yeah. Get your head in the game.
I'm ready. I'm ready for JK News.
Okay, this is not going to be a happy, fun time, laugh, haha, LOL one. So just be aware of that. We have a massive development in the case of Vicha Ratanapakdi. You guys know who that is? So he's the first, I wouldn't say the first, but like one of the most major crimes to kick off the Stop Asian Hate movement. He was the Thai grandfather that was walking in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
In like that driveway in front of the garage or something.
And he got randomly shoved to the ground in an unprovoked attack by Antoine Watson, in which he died.
And his defense was had a bad day or whatever, right? That guy?
Defense was like, this guy just had a temper tantrum. Chesa Bodin, the worst freaking DA you could ask for, was basically trying to make excuses for him, saying it's just a temper tantrum. He was having a bad day and he took it out on this guy, whatever. So the San Francisco jury just reached a verdict and they have acquitted Antoine of murder.
Wow.
They have acquitted him of elder abuse.
What?
And instead, he is being convicted of the much lesser crime of involuntary manslaughter and assault.
Why is that involuntary?
Because he was having a bad day, Joe.
He wasn't trying to kill him. I was trying to push him to the ground.
In San Francisco, if I've had a bad day and I could fucking beat the shit out of someone and kill them, and that's just I get involuntary manslaughter. It was involuntary.
Well,
So what's the punishment for that?
he's gonna do some time.
It could be up to like 7 years or something like that. But if you're on good behavior and go for like certain degrees and
He
whatnot.
might have another bad day.
But
That's the scary part about all these like liberal cities with these type of liberal policies. You know how like they'll commit a crime and they find the dude and then they already done it 13 other times? It's because of shit like this.
and they have the rap sheet of like,
Yeah, so this motherfucker's gonna kill like 15 other Asian grandparents, and then by the time that one makes the news, you're like, wait, what the fuck? This guy already did it 15 times, and it's because they keep letting him go easy.
and no hate crime charges also on top
So
of that.
he was having a bad day. He went to just go shove whoever was closest to
And
him.
it
or
wasn't
what?
even it was like he charged full speed at this guy and just knocked him down. It wasn't like a shove, it was like a tackle basically. And it's an elderly Asian guy. And you know the prosecution was arguing like, would he have done that if it was like a tall white guy? Or,
No, fuck no.
of course, because you see the nice Asian guy that probably won't fight back.
That's exactly why they were.
And
beating
the
up old people.
context of everyone that was retarded at the time thought COVID came from Asian people.
Yeah. And so the tough thing is that the reason this was such a big element in the Stop Asian Hate thing was that the argument was that people who do this shouldn't be allowed to get away with like when Asians are the victim. It's almost like people get away with it easier.
Yeah.
And now we're at the verdict point, and it proved exactly the same sentiment, and it really sucks.
Especially with elder abuse too, because I feel like whenever a crime happens to an older person, same type of shit kind of happens like that.
Why do you guys think that is? When it's crimes against Asians, it's never, even if it was a hate crime or targeted because of the race, it's never labeled as a hate crime.
I don't think because we're vocal. I think, like the Asian culture, it's like we're so long-term thinking. It's like, you get me, instead of like, hey, what the fuck? It's more like, okay, give me like 20 years, I'm gonna own your city. And I think because of that, it makes for easy victims, but it sucks. So I think as a group, it's kind of dope because we make real change. But on the individual,
It's like, we'll just make it so that you guys don't exist in the city anymore.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but then by the time I'm 80, I'm going to go, we won.
Yeah, but on the individual level, it sucks because then people's grandparents don't get justice.
Yeah, that and also the fact that fuels systemic racism. That fuels the fact that you won't hire people of a certain race that have wronged you. You know, it's like it kind of creates a cycle of negativity,
That's a
but
huge point that I don't think people talk about.
they don't. And
It
but
causes resentment between both communities, right?
Because even as a kid, like if I got bullied or whatever, like I would always talk to my mom. Oh, that kid did this with this kid, whatever. My mom's like, oh, just beat him at that. Like, just don't fight back. Just beat him at that. And then if you're constantly picked to be number one on the basketball, whatever, then that'll really show them. So that's kind of like what's ingrained in the culture versus like fighting them on the court. You know?
and I agree. I think that is a better revenge, is just to have a better
It's
life.
a more long-term healthier way, I guess, for society to not be violent.
And it
then
does
play
actually
smarter.
make change.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the quality of life for your family.
Yeah. But then it's also not being primitive. If like I get it if you don't want to choose to be violent and fight back, right? Yeah. But then I think if the legal process is something that we have access to and we can protest, we can go and say like, you know, or we can take them to court and we can do all that stuff. But I think even then Asians don't confront using the process that the system has.
Also, though, it could be that the Asians that do confront and that are primitive are already in jail, and then when this dude goes to jail, they just whoop his ass in jail like every other day and stuff like that, and then that's just a thing too.
But you know, like I think even the Asian dudes in jail that are primitive, whatever, everyone is so high achieving they end up doing well when they come out too. Like I think the Asians
Such a weird problem.
it's a funny problem because we don't fit into the American game that well.
Yeah.
Because we love money and success too much. Like if you tell a bunch of Asians, let's go fucking protest, whatever, and they're like, but what about overtime? Dude, I could be at work right now and fucking make double. Why would I fucking waste my whole day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for them, they're like, everything is like this cost benefit thing. And they're like, nah, I'm not going to protest.
I don't think if I were thinking about even like my family or the people that are closest to me, justice would not be the number one thing. It's more about how do I better myself or better my situation.
Yeah.
The justice part is
Right.
kind of secondary.
Because you're depending on the system to like.
Because I think the way Asians would look at the situation is they'll feel bad that they couldn't afford a better neighborhood to put their grandpa in.
Yeah.
They blame themselves.
That's true. They would blame themselves. Yeah.
They wouldn't be like, fuck the perpetrator. Because I think the mentality is like, there's always going to be criminals. There's always going to be bad people. But then you didn't work hard enough to be in a safe neighborhood. Instead of being like, but then I think the American mindset is like, no, I live here and like, I want a safe like neighborhood. So I'm going to go to my city and go, I pay taxes. I want you guys to keep my city safe. Right. So I think that's the more Western way of doing things is we're all contributors here. Like you guys got to help us. And then we're not going to vote you in if you don't fucking do your job right.
He was at his daughter's apartment. I feel like also in some ways, San Francisco got dangerous faster than people could relocate. I think like faster than you could uproot your family life. Like it got really bad fast.
It's also crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can't outsave inflation.
And I think like one of the main reasons people have this sentiment why people, you know, this proves kind of the theory true that like, okay, when the Asian guy is the victim, you're going to get leniency. And I think a lot of it is because societally people still look at Asians in the hierarchy of privilege. Like, oh, it's a punch up.
They call it like white adjacent or whatever, right?
Or like which is crazy to think because there's, you know, that's not the Asian American
Are
experience
there
at all.
stats for that?
There's no
No, but it's the model minority myth. But you know what's funny though? Well, it's not funny, but pre all of that, during the Exclusion Act, everybody hated Chinese. Like the way that everyone don't like Somalians right now, and they're the target. There was a time when like Black, Hispanic, everybody was like, fuck these Asians.
But what were they doing? Like similar to this?
Taking jobs and
Because
like,
they were working for cheaper.
yeah.
So they were
Not fraud though, not daycare fraud.
That's not, yeah.
they were working for cheaper, and technically we kind of brought like the opium into the country.
There's a lot
as
of
well.
Bad. Okay.
Don't say we.
You.
Why would you say we?
Because if I claim the hardships, I can also claim the successes.
Hey, but thanks for the Exclusion Act, that's when Japanese were able to come through. So
You're Chinese too.
Really, like you were saying, like what the stats are and being white adjacent. I think mainly is the idea that like in one generation, they can achieve the success of like a white family. You know, like
Surpass them.
well, we're I'm gonna put this out there, but Asians are gonna be in the white like club in the next
White club.
Yeah. Because this is what I
Because they're all marrying our women.
no because it's not gonna be that much about skin color in the future.
Because they're all
Because-
marrying our women.
Are you saying like class wise?
It's gonna be what's considered white keeps changing in America. That's what I realized. So the first thing that I saw that made me think about this is Irish, Jewish, Italian, Greek. all these people weren't considered white. And if you see Roosevelt or no, one of the presidents, he created like a map of what is white, what is Anglo, what is whatever.
Good
And then
president.
what I realized is that JFK was our first minority president because he was Catholic and he was Irish.
But he also looks white. I think the hard part for us to assimilate,
Yeah.
we're just too chinky looking.
White passing.
What I'm seeing,
He said
that's
we.
why now. That's why now. But just watch.
And also chinky.
Mark my fucking words, because the Republican Party, did you ever think that there would be a Jew representative, a black representative? Nope, but they're all considered white adjacent now because their philosophy and what they do is not with the left.
What about the successful like Nigerians? You think they'll ever be considered white, or they'll still just be?
Not yet. Not yet. Because
Not yet. Ooh.
no,
So there's hope.
it's gonna be more like if you're it's not gonna be pure Anglo anymore. It's gonna be, are you Protestant, or now they're even going Jewish and Catholic can be one. And then it's also gonna be privilege. So then the idea of whiteness is gonna change.
It's just gonna be, instead of white, they'll be like, oh, you guys are privileged.
Or they're gonna have a different name for it.
Privies.
Bunch of privies over there.
Because the white club keeps changing, is what I'm saying. What was considered, it used to be only Anglo and Protestant, but then they go, okay, well, JFK and like the Irish and Catholics, you could come in too. Just no black or Chinese though, right? And then it keeps changing. So then now they're gonna take tomato whites. They're taking Italians. They're taking all the tomato eating whites.
Tomato
Yeah.
whites? Is that a real
Yeah, tomato
thing?
and potato.
There's
Tomato
potato
and
whites and
potatoes.
tomato.
What?
Yeah.
I have never heard
Italians.
this before. I love it.
And the hummus whites.
Yeah, hummus whites.
You know what's crazy? You don't even have to explain any of this.
And you know what I'm talking about. The
Makes
hummus,
sense.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Go on.
So for the idea of like stop Asian hate, what does this mean for that? If the whole thing that kicked this situation off.
You know why I think it didn't catch that hard? Is because when they saw who was actually attacking the old people, it was a lot of black folks. But it was like they're not like all there. They were homeless.
It's not like because they're black.
Yeah, no, they were schizophrenic. It just so happened to be that most of the attackers, well, almost majority, were black.
We're mentally ill.
They were mentally ill, black, and they didn't want to confront that because it was also during the time of BLM.
Yeah, with the whole George Floyd issue. So it's
It didn't fit the idea because black people were the victims at the time. They can't also be, but it's not, I wouldn't call them black people. I just call them like people that were like ex-cons, people that were they should be in a mental institution.
They're repeat offenders.
They're not normal black people, is what I'm saying. They're not people that own a home and they just go out there and fight people. You know what I mean? Like,
Why you make that face?
Yeah.
Why you made a face?
What are you talking
You
about?
said normal black people. You made a face. It was like that. It was like that.
no, it just so happened to be that the attackers were black, but they weren't attacking them because they were black. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah.
One more time for the people in the back.
I think also when so many of the attackers were like mentally ill, I think that also put the attention back on the state of like why
Yeah.
did
That's what it was.
and they didn't
Yeah.
the state didn't want to have to
Because it was a state's failure.
yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like it would point out that the state was messing up with the drug problem
And there's a ton of money for that and they're not doing it. So
and the justice problem.
Because they always never show the first 10 seconds of the video where the guy who perpetrates the crime is talking to himself in the corner.
yeah.
Pacing up and down. And it's just like, "Ugh," and then he commits the crime.
That's too much airtime.
No, there is.
You only get a couple seconds to tell the story.
That's also important for the story, but they're not interested in that. They're interested in pitting everyone against each other.
You guys, that's what
Right.
Nick does right before we start filming too.
Get your head in the game.
I'm ready. I'm ready for JK News.
Cut that out. Cut that
But
walking part out.
I
Nah, leave it in.
want it to be like
Leave it in.
black community, Asian community thing. Like I didn't want it to be like a black, because it's not. It's not a black versus Asian thing. It's like literally like homeless, schizophrenic, someone that needs help from the state.
Exactly.
It just so happened to be majority of them are black.
And it's majority of them have had really weak family units. There's no one to take care of that guy.
I would love, as a person who lives in California, I've been living there my whole life, and as a person who deals with these schizophrenic homeless people on a pretty regular basis. I would love for my state, California, to have a solution for this problem. I would love that more than anything. Or just even an attempt.
Yeah.
I think
I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Shut up, Bart. I'm not coming to Vegas, man.
no, if they just had more
Hella
funding,
money.
I think they could figure it out.
Tax them more.
Yeah.
If they
That's
just
the issue. They
had
don't have
more
enough money.
I bet you guys could even get a railroad, solve homelessness.
Railroad.
Oh, where road?
Who's gonna build it, dude?
Plenty of Chinese that could build it.
If your homes were more expensive, I think it would work. Could fix it.
You know what? You know what we could do? Let's increase property tax.
Yep.
That would really help.
Anyway, I mean,
Increase the minimum wage. I think it would really help too.
If enough corporate companies
And more fires.
recipes, Vicha, and for as far as Antoine Watson goes, I guess we'll get him the second or third time he does it.